Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I said repeatedly, if you're confirmed, you've got to make sure that you speak truth to power. And that means even if the truth is not the preferred narrative that somebody wants to hear. So let me just ask you, it should be a simple question. Do you deny that Joe Biden won the 2020 election?
Senator, I'm not an election denier. Joe Biden was certified as the President of the United States.
Election denial is something that we cannot have. So I will take that as you do not deny that Joe Biden won the 2020 election.
Yeah, I'm not. I think, let me just be clear. We have substantial work to do, and I've made it in improving our electoral processes. It's part of national security, and I feel strongly about that.
One of the things that, again, this will come around perhaps to what's happening tomorrow night as well, classified information is critical. If we violate classified information, that loses us allies. It makes us less strong. I fear that certain countries already are not sharing as much information with us because of some of the things that have happened. So let me ask you some straightforward questions. If confirmed, you commit to protecting all classified information in accordance with established rules and procedures?
Yes.
If confirmed, you commit to following established processes and procedures when it comes to declassifying information?
Yes.
And that will then lead to the next, because if you're going to follow official purposes, you cannot declassify information for political purposes. Will you promise that you will not do that?
Senator, I promise that my declassification exercises will be consistent with the role, and I believe that there are a number of protections in place across the intelligence community to ensure that intelligence is not used for political purposes, and I intend to adhere to those.
Well, that is, in many ways, at least for me, that is the nub of this hearing.
In preparing for this hearing, I have analyzed the procedures that are in place for declassification and other actions that you would take as the Director of National Intelligence. And I look forward to consulting with the people inside the intelligence community and at the ODNI to ensure that we adhere to those principles.
It's critically important because, again, we may see some of this tomorrow night or not, but we go around those established procedures. We could burn sources and methods. We could lose allies. The ramifications are so grave, and it has been treated in such a cavalier way that it's really extraordinarily upsetting to me. Along with classified information comes the analytic tool. One of the things that I pointed out in the recent IC annual survey, the number of IC analysts that are concerned that their work may be threatened by politicization, or if you don't reach the right conclusion, that completely undermines the basis of what the intelligence community is set up with. So, if confirmed, you commit that the ODNI's decisions and analysis will remain free from political pressure and conspiracy theories.
Yeah, Senator, the role is to ensure that you, the President in particular, the members of the Cabinet receive the best possible intelligence product available, and I do commit to do that. And I do commit to do that.
Yeah, if you could bring the whole box a little
Sorry,
closer.
I need a space for the papers. But
I can't stress enough, if the IC workforce feels they're going to get political blowback or get fired, which we have seen, because they reach a conclusion that may not be what certain folks in the administration want to hear, that undermines the whole work of the whole community.
If I could jump in on that,
Please.
and I want to say that my experience at the SEC, my experience at the DOJ, is that the people who have worked for me have great confidence that they can speak to me in a candid and free from any worry that what they say to me in their professional capacity is going to result in any kind of disagreement. I would say any kind of friction beyond the normal toing and froing that you have in any organization.
And I will say, let me add a comment to what Senator Round said. In working with you at the SEC, I found that was how you operated, and particularly in taking on certain issues that might not have been politically popular. But this is such a different role, and And I am so concerned that whoever ends up in this role is going to be under a set of pressures that may be unprecedented. And we're going to need somebody extraordinarily strong. I'll come to my last set of questions, and that is around election integrity. This job was set up to look at foreign interference in our elections. So it was more than stunning to me when the former director, Director Gabbard, showed up at a domestic, I believe, political interference activities in Fulton County. We're coming into election season. I want to make sure you are on the record. If confirmed, you will commit you will not interfere with or comment inappropriately on U.S. elections.
Senator, you outlined the role correctly. The role is to deal with foreign interference in U.S. elections, which is something I'm gravely concerned about. But that's the role.
And finally, we cannot have the DNI trying to put his or her hands on the scales in terms of tipping the outcome of any American election, where you commit to not put those hands on the scales.
The role of the intelligence community is to provide information, not to engage in policy or those things. So, yes.
Thank you. I yield.